Hello, everybody. I am Jessie with the Two Sticks and String podcast. This is a podcast all about knitting, crochet, cats, cross stitch, and K-pop. If any of those things are your jam, feel free to stay along. Welcome to any returning viewers, and hi to all of my new viewers. If you want to get in touch with me, you can find me on Instagram as Armywifeknitlife or Armywifeknitlife D-stash. And you can find me on Ravelry as Armywifeknitlife. We do have a Ravelry group called the Two Sticks and String group, and you can find us really easily. Just look for Patrol the Owl. He's the owl you find at the beginning of every single one of my podcasts. You see him and you'll know you're in the right spot. All right. So guys, first off, it's June. It's my birthday month. Which is super exciting, but at the same time, not, because I turn 30 next week. And I know it's really not that big of a deal. And I am younger when it comes to most fiber artsy type things. However, it's still a hard pill to swallow for me. So please just bear with me. Also, with it being June, it's a new month, which means a new color for the Color Your Stash 2022 Make-Along. This month, it is rainbow. And what that means, it does not have to be your traditional Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, all that stuff. You don't have to do that. It could just be, it is a project that is variegated yarn that has a bunch of speckles in it. Or just variegated yarn that is super colorful. For example. You'll see more about that later. But it could be a project that just has more than 3 colors in it. I just want this month to all focus on color. We're in the summer. It is Pride Month. Rainbows everywhere, y'all. Everywhere. And if that doesn't tell you where I fall on some issues, I don't know what's going to tell you, but I do have a project that might tell you a little bit more also. So let's get started, shall we? Okay. First off, I only have one finished object. And if you guys have been following my Instagram stories and my ridiculousness on here about it, you probably know what's finished. It is my epic wrap line project from BTS. I do still have some ends to weave in. That's not a big deal. This thing is long. It's long, I'm telling you. Like this, let me find. This color right here is the halfway point. I can fold it in half. And still wrap it around my shoulders. So it's long. Let's see. Last time you guys saw this was right here. And keep in mind, it's still folded. So I have done all of these beautiful colors since then. Okay, so we're going to go over each and every single one of the colors because it's an epic project. There's 23 skeins of yarn here. Not full skeins. Oh my goodness. That would be, you think it's long now, it would be way long. No, it's got 20 grams of 23 different colors and about 40 grams of a main color. So 24 colors in this. Technically, there is more that I can do to the shawl, to the wrap, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do it yet, so I'm calling it a finish until I decide. It's a finish for now. All right, so down here, this very bottom little garter stitch section is Bapse. One of my very favorites. My absolute favorite song from BTS. Okay. And it was fitting that it's a neutral color too. So it's kind of perfect that way. All right. Then the earliest song that I have, also, I should explain, all of these colors are from Hawaii Bazaar Yarn Co. between her BTS Club yarn colorways and just her standard colors that you can just order in her shop whenever. They're all fingering weight on her Nova sock base, other than 3 of them, which are her Amir base, which is a merino nylon cashmere. And they're all beautiful. They're all stunning colors. And Corinne, the dyer behind Hawaii Bazaar, is one of my best friends. She's my Habibti, and I love her so much. So, Corinne, I know you typically don't watch, but I'm going to send this one to you because you're kind of the star of the show in this one. So, when you watch it, I purple you, Habibti. All right. So, the earliest color song that I have from her, all of these, I guess I should explain this too. All songs in this project, all of the yarns are inspired by music videos or performances that BTS, my favorite K-pop group, has done. And I'm the nerd that took all of the colors and placed them in chronological order based off of their release. So, all right, I think that's, in case you don't know who BTS is, absolute favorite K-pop band. I am really sad about something that they said today. We'll get that at the end because I know a lot of you guys don't care and you just indulge me on my information about them. But it's important to me, so I appreciate you for indulging me. Okay, for real this time, we're going to go over the colors. So this is Butterfly here, and it's a very subtle color. It's gray with just, I'm going to turn the light off again to see if it can be a little better. You can see subtle changes in color here. It's like purples and a little bit of peach. It's a beautiful color. Then we have Dope, is this red and black variegated. Then we have Run, I Need You, Fire, Young Forever. I've already gone over these ones before, so I'm not really worried about going over them quickly. This is Save Me, Not Today, which is where y'all saw it last. Is Not Today. Since then, let me just pull up the official list to be 100% sure. Because there's a lot of colors here and I don't want to mess them up. Because that would be terrible. And my Habibti deserves better. So, I'm pulling it up on Ravelry right now. Spring Day. That was Spring Day. My bad. The one before Not Today is Spring Day. Not Today. You Never Walk Alone. This like peachy pink is Dimple. Fake Love Part 2. Serendipity. This skein was a birthday present from Ruth last year, and I love to finally work with it. Then we have Microcosmos, this purple one here, which is my shirt. And there's a reason I'm all BTS today. Finishing the wrap line is part of it, but again, my life section will have more info. All right, then we have intro persona, interlude, shadow, and outro ego. Then we have on, Black Swan, Dynamite, which is when most people in the US started to know who they are because Dynamite was kind of popular. Then we have Blue and Gray, Butter. I love how bright this is, and a lot of people know Butter now too. This is Permission to Dance and My Universe, which it ends with another garter stitch section of Bopsay. And I just, these last few colors are so bright and beautiful. And it's such a difference from the very beginning here. Because in the beginning they were more rap and hip hop and heavier music. And I loved it all just the same. But now it's a little more lighthearted, some of the things, especially lately with COVID had been happening. And so they made their songs a little more lighthearted and fun. So this was about 5 skeins worth, a little over, of yarn usage, which is great for my hypothetical yarn tiara that I'm going for. And the grams too, because 504 grams. It's a lot. It was great for my yardage. Other than that, I did finish my Yodowiec socks, which, I'm trying to think of where I put them, are here. Yodowiec is glacier in Polish, and these are from my babcia, my grandmother, so it seemed fitting that these glacier colorway socks from Desert Vista Dye Works should be in Polish. I knit all of my socks the same, as y'all well know. I'll tell you more about it. One of my whips is, well, actually it's a hoe, so we'll just show you now. We have a hoe. First off, these are some of my favorite sock blockers. They're from a shop in Ukraine. I bought them a few years ago. I'm going to venture a guess that their shop is not currently open. So, but they are just beautiful. So, this is Desert Vista Dye Works Gingerbread People and the Coordinating Mini. This is the Viso base. I normally have Sparkle, which is the Zeon, but this was a free skein colorway gift from a few years ago when I got to pick the color I wanted, since I had done the 6 months or whatever I had completed the year. One of the two, because you earn 3 free skeins of yarn during the year when you participate. So this is one of those free skeins, and so they all come in the basic yarn base. But I knit all of my socks the same. I knit toe up with a fish lips kiss heel, 27 stitches on each needle, so that ends up being 54 stitches for the sock, and 3-inch cuff minimum. So that's my first one. Waiting for number 2 to be done, but I did just cast on the toe since I finished this yesterday. So I knit them all on whatever sock needle is empty and naked and needing to be warmed up with some yarn. Typically, they're my size 1 carbons, which is a 2.25 millimeter. All right, so that's my only hoe. Now I have a whip. Now I'm going to preface this whip before I show y'all. It's not a knitting whip, it is a cross stitch whip. It is a gift for my sister. Her birthday is coming up soon. And we share many of the same opinions on things, and I understand this is probably going to alienate me from a few of my viewers, and I understand that. Your views are your views, and that's fine. I'm not going to push mine on you. I ask that you try to see where I come from. I have my own reasons for it. I'm not going to go into them here because they are deeply personal to my family, but you're welcome to message me if you have questions. We're very proud people. And this is a pro Roe Cross Stitch design. I've only got the row part so far, and then I will be doing the pro up here. I am using DMC 414 for the gray and 3804 for the pink. This is from the Hoopla company. and I just bought them off of Etsy, and the needle minder is from Grandma Girl Designs, also on Etsy. The Luna actually came as a set with Sailor Moon. So, 90s for the win. Yay! I remember I used to wake up at 5 a.m. every morning, be at elementary school all the way through high school, and I would watch, depending on what season of Sailor Moon they were in, I would watch Sailor Moon, I would watch Saved by the Bell, or The Munsters or Mama's Family, whichever was a good one at the time, because I'd flip through the 4 channels. Saved by the Bell was always the option at 6 a.m. I watched the hour. So I'd wake up at 5. I'd see what the episodes were for Sailor Moon and Mama's Family and The Munsters. See which one sounded the best. I'd put that on. I'd also get a quick shower in between the end of the first episode and between the start of the second. So 90s kids for the win, as I keep saying. But yes, this is just 14 count Black Ada. I bought it on Amazon when I still lived in Germany, and it is whips and projects right now. I do have a little bit of stash, not a lot, and then I'll get into my life stuff. So I have my monthly subscription to Be Stitch Me's Fabric of the Month Club. This is the neutral one. It is pink chocolate. And it's a very subtle pink. It is definitely, it's a nice blend between the two. It is not quite brown, but it's also not super pinky. It's a perfect pink chocolate. And then the color of the month is Undine. It's blue. It has more of the coloring up here than it does on the other side, though. There's some here, but you'll see more of it on the edges. And then, as you saw earlier, I bought this yarn. This is the only skein of yarn I bought at the yarn store called The Craftivist. It's in Atlanta, Georgia. And I was there with my hubby. Yay! He is home from his field trip. And he had a conference that he had to attend. And so I decided to tag along and join him. So we had a great time. We went to the aquarium. We found a delicious Persian place called Rumi's Kitchen. And we went there twice in the week because it was just that good. And if you guys watch my Sunday Honey vlogs, you know I grew up eating Persian. It's my favorite food in the world. So, and it's kind of hard to find places. You can get Turkish, you can get Middle Eastern, you can get Mediterranean, but Persian food is hard to find. And so when we found out they had a Persian restaurant, you bet your bottom dollar I went. So we had that twice. We went to the World of Coca-Cola. We went to this shopping area called Ponce City Market. And we also went to the opening night of Frozen the musical. And we saw their touring Broadway company. So it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of great food. We had a blast. I mean, we went yarn shopping and he gladly took me. It was a really cute little store. Normally I do try to get local dyed yarn. However, most of the stuff they have there, it was all beautiful, but most of it was solid colors, and I was looking to get a skein of yarn to complement what I was needing for a project that's in my queue. And I had spoken in the beginning of the year how I'm trying to get my queue to be below 100 projects in it. And this is one of those that's on there, so I'm trying to work my way down. As a small update on my queue, I started the year with 119 projects in my queue, and I now have 103. A lot of those I did end up just removing because I'd put things that I wasn't sure about, like there were 3 different scarf and hat sets in there, and I was wanting to knit one for my husband, and I couldn't decide, so I put all 3 in so I wouldn't forget, and I took like the 2 extras off. My wrap line was one of the projects I wanted to do. Some things were no longer on Ravelry because it had been so long and they'd moved to other platforms. So I went through, I'm down to 103 now, which is yay, exciting. But I still want to get it down further. I still have at least 3 more projects to go before I meet my goal this year. One of those projects is the On a Whim cowl. And so I needed something, a solid would have worked, but my contrast yarn is already a solid. I'll show you it. I don't know where this bag is from. My friend gave it to me a few years ago for my birthday. Hi, Natalie. And so this is Mad Tosh DK in paper. I believe it's DK. Yes. And because this is DK, so duh. This is Malabrigo in the Diana Anniversario colorway, I believe. Let me double check. Because it's here. Yeah. It's Anniversario. It's not Diana. Diana was the other one I was looking at. So this is, yeah. Malabrigo Arroyo in Anniversario. So it's very rainbow and fantastic, and I love it. And that is going to be probably one of the next projects I cast on after I finish this sock and this cross stitch, because I need something quick after the big project that is my wrap line. But so that was it for whips and stash. A little bit about life, but the big thing I wanted to talk about in my life section, I am wearing all BTS right now, because of the wrap line, but there's a few other things that happened. Their new album came out on the 10th. It's called Proof. It's an anthology album. There's 3 CDs. It has all their title tracks and some of their favorites that were stories they wanted to tell on a separate album. And then they've released a bunch of unreleased demos of famous songs that they've done. And they're wonderful. There was also 3 new songs, one on each CD, that was new and unique. So it was very exciting. And it's also, yesterday was their 9-year anniversary as a group that they've debuted. They've been together for much longer than that. They just had their first performance as a group 9 years ago as of yesterday. And then today they had their traditional festa dinner. It's something that is broadcasted to all of the Army fans out there, and they typically are answering questions that are about themselves, not the music. They're talking about what they've been doing lately, or things that they've really enjoyed, things that they've started to learn, like Yoongi is learning how to play guitar and keyboard, and he's focusing on English lessons, and he's been producing a lot for other people. Jimin just released a song for an original soundtrack for a K-drama, and so they're talking about things like that. And they also announced that they are going on hiatus today. And they're not disbanding. They are just going to be, they've worked nonstop for more than 10 years at this point. And these are men that were still children when some of them were still children. The youngest, Jungkook, was 14 when they debuted, and he's in his mid-20s now, and so he's never had the opportunity to figure out who he is as an adult. And that's how a lot of them feel, that they don't know who they are now, because they've always been working and they've been on stage, and they need to get back in touch. They're a little lost. And so they're focusing on their own projects right now, and they are in school. They're finishing up master's degrees. They're getting ready for military enlistment. They're doing their own solo albums. J-Hope is headlining the last day of Lollapalooza this year. And so they're doing great things. They're just doing them separately for a little bit, and then most likely after military enlistments are done, they will be coming back together. It's still just very sad, and it's not something that anyone expected to hear 4 days after an album release and the day after their anniversary. So it was a little unexpected. But so with that, I am very happy for them that they get to do what makes them happy. They get to chase their dreams. And so I will say to them the same thing I say to you every single time we record. Do what makes your heart sing. For me, that's Two Sticks and String.